The most memorable part of my wedding was when Mila handed me a divorce form. I and Mila met at a mixer. After losing my father, I was determined to become independent quickly, was busy with work. My friend, insisting that he should also experience romance, somewhat forcibly took me out. There, I was captivated by the flashy Mila. Unlike me, who lacked self-confidence and had no special talents, Mila was brimming with confidence and seemed to shine. I continued my awkward attempts to approach her, but she didn't easily agree to date me. I knew we were mismatched, her with her dazzling attire, and I was in my dad's old, worn-out hoodie. Nevertheless, I persisted and finally got a date with her. Our first date was a drive in the Cadillac my late father left me. Mila's attitude brightened the moment she saw the car, and soon, talks of marriage began, much to her insistence. However, when I expressed concern over the expensive wedding plans, Mila turned cold. You wouldn't understand, but a wedding is a woman's dream. It must be more lavish than anyone else's. But I don't have many acquaintances, so I can't invite that many guests. You could have just invited people from your father's company, Mila suggested. Since my father passed away, I'd been avoiding contact with his company's people until I could stand on my own. And with the debts, such expenses seem wasteful. Debts? No, nothing. This was something I hadn't shared with Mila, not wanting to worry her before marriage. Perhaps that was a mistake. Eventually, Mila prevailed, and the wedding was mostly as she wished. On the wedding day, she began a surprise speech. It started as a standard thank you but soon took a strange turn. A word of advice to those getting married: don't choose a poor man like Nathan. You'll regret it. The guests became restless. I was completely deceived by Nathan. He hid his debts and approached me pretending to be wealthy. Today's wedding made it clear. I can't marry Nathan. She then presented me with a divorce form. Wait, it's a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding. Your mom's outdated suit screamed poverty. Didn't your dad leave any insurance money when he died? You and your family are nothing but losers. I want nothing to do with you. I was used to being disparaged, but couldn't tolerate insults towards my mother and late father. I couldn't continue a marriage under such circumstances. And I signed the divorce form. I'd ask for alimony, but you can't afford it, can you? Just pay for the venue. And I'm taking your car. She had already taken the car keys from my house. Wait, if I lose that car, you should be grateful I didn't take alimony from a poor person like you. My supposed best day turned into a nightmare. Betrayed and alone, I found solace in a cat cafe. Frequent visits led me to grow close to a gentle and humble employee named Lillian. Her calm and humble nature, so different from Mila, drew me to her, and she responded to my feelings, leading us to start a relationship. Lillian has always been caring and kind to me since we started dating. I wanted to marry her but worried if a divorced man like myself could make her happy. When I told Lillian everything about my marriage with Mila, Lillian smiled and said, "The past doesn't matter. I love how family-oriented and kind you are." I proposed to Lillian, and now she's expecting our child. I encountered Milo again while shopping for baby items at a department store. Seeing Lillian, visibly pregnant, beside me, Mila sneered. "So Nathan, you remarried. Downgraded this time, huh? Well, a plain Jane suits a poor man like you better." I tried to ignore her, but Mila condescendingly addressed Lillian. "You've got unique taste, marrying a poor man like him. But looking at you, I guess you didn't have much choice." Lillian smiles peacefully at Rika's swearing. "You must be Nathan's ex-wife. Just like he described, you really care about appearances." Mila looked slightly irritated by Lillian's imperturbed demeanor. "Being poor shows, you know. You're pregnant, but with a man as poor as him, I can see the struggles ahead. And yet you chose to have a child. Poor. If I can create a warm home with the person I love, Nathan's income is more than enough. You seem to like luxury, Mila. It must be hard to be unfulfilled despite having money, though." Stunned by Lillian's words, Mila left with a twisted face. Once she was gone, Lillian's smile vanished. Such a terrible woman, hurting not just our cats but Nathan too. What? Mila had visited the cat cafe where Lillian worked. At that time, she was wearing a lot of perfume, which made the cats avoid her. She then spitefully grabbed and frightened the cats, forcing them to come close to her. She's such a terrible person, always hurting those around her for her own sake. I can't forgive her." Lillian, normally gentle, showed a rare flash of anger, which I calmed, fearing it might affect her pregnancy. I thought I'd never have to deal with Milo again, but a few days later, I unexpectedly heard about her. My boss showed me a photo of his son's fiancée. It was Mila. My boss had asked me about Mila, noticing my reaction to her photo. I shared my story about Mila, our wedding, and our recent encounter, and my boss agreed. What a terrible woman. We could call off the engagement, but she might demand alimony. She needs to learn her lesson. With a sly smile, my boss proposed a plan. Just like my wedding, my boss's son's wedding to Mila was a lavishly packed affair. When Mila saw me at the reception, she was shocked and tried to send me away, saying, "This is no place for a poor man." However, upon seeing my official invitation, she reluctantly let him stay but warned, "Don't you dare say anything unnecessary." The ceremony went smoothly until the time for a surprise. Next video is from the groom's father. Mila looked forward to it with curiosity. The video began with memories of the couple, then shifted to Mila's profile. Unexpectedly, it switched to footage from her wedding with me. "What is this?" That video showing her insulting me and my parents and presenting a divorce form. "Stop it. Stop it now." The host quickly intervened to stop the video and cover up the situation. Next up is a surprise speech from the son of the groom's father. Faced by a stunned Mila, I took the stage and exposed all of Mila's past abusive behavior. "Shut up, you poor man." In a fit, Mila shouted at him, forgetting the guests around. "Mila, is that your true nature? I couldn't believe it when I heard about you from my father, but you really did abuse your past boyfriends and the shop staff. Honestly, I don't see a future with you." Mila, who had lied about not being responsible for our divorce, was blamed by the groom's relatives, ruining the wedding. The engagement was called off, leaving her responsible for the wedding expenses and alimony. I left the venue feeling relieved, thinking Mila had learned her lesson, but it seemed that only earned her resentment. The next day, she confronted me outside my apartment. It seemed she had followed me from my workplace. "So, you think you've gotten revenge on me? You poor person." "Revenge? I only wanted to stop my boss's son from being unhappy," I replied. "You must be so jealous, living in such a cheap apartment compared to my life of luxury." Mila pointed to an apartment behind me, mocking. "Shabby apartment. My home is actually this house," I said, pointing to a luxurious house nearby. "No way, this mansion is yours," Mila gasped, seeing my house. Just then, Lillian came back home in a Cadillac. "How did you get that car?" "I bought it myself. After you took the car with my dad's memories, I decided to get another one of the same model." "Bought it? How can you afford such a luxury car and this mansion?" I revealed the story I had intended to share with her after marriage. In fact, my father had been a business owner, and after gaining experience in another company, I had taken over my father's business as per his will. "That can't be. You always wore shabby clothes." "Those were precious memories from my dad, that's why I couldn't throw them away." "And the debts you mentioned, that was a loan for a real estate investment. I'm now earning rental income, turning a profit." "I can't believe it. You're actually the more affluent one." Mila suddenly tried to get close to me. "Nathan, I'm sorry for being stubborn before. I realize now that I'm the one suited for you. Let's get back together. I'm better suited to be a CEO's wife than such a plain woman, right?" Then Lillian appeared, having parked her car. "What's going on?" Seeing Lillian, dressed in a neat suit, Mila was taken aback. "Mila wants to get back with me. She says she's more suited to be a CEO's wife than you," Lillian said with her usual calm smile. "Mila, you must be quite accomplished in business. Where did you study? What qualifications do you have?" "I took business classes at a community college and have Delphi 1. Did you?" "I graduated from a university in France, and I have Delphi C2. She supports me in both personal and professional matters." Mila was speechless at her words. Following this encounter, she seemed to lose confidence, failing to attract anyone else's attention in her subsequent pursuits. I heard a rumor that Mila, who never worked and aimed for a wealthy marriage, is now struggling with debts due to the unpaid wedding reception and alimony. Meanwhile, our child is growing up healthy, and we live with my mother now, making us a happy family of 4. I no longer hear rumors about Mila, but Lillian once said with a smile, she might be dying somewhere in the streets now, and I vowed to myself never to anger Lillian.